Thank you, everybody, for sharing our meditative practice in this Sangha group this morning. Be sure you allow yourself to stretch, allow yourself to let muscles that maybe haven't moved for a little while to simply get some more blood and oxygen into them. So our teaching schedule is set up in advance. So I know on my calendar what week I'm going to be giving a Dharma talk and taking the role of the lead in this Zoom Sangha. And I don't know how the other teachers feel about it, but I want to do a good job. I want to say something that will be meaningful to the greatest majority of people here. I don't want it to be simply something that's affecting me, but that has a broad sharing ability for all of us here. So I used to fret a lot about it, and then I've sort of let the fretting go, and I've discovered that, if I just allow myself to be, something will go, oh, that's what I want to talk about. And actually, I got that little hit last week from the talk that the Venerable Miles offered. And that was his talk and his story about how he valued and moved towards right speech. And it was, a story about he and his dad had, conflict and couldn't say two words to each other that weren't in contrast. And the Venerable Miles made a decision. He just wasn't going to do it anymore. And he stopped. And this stopping over time led to a point where the two could understand and have common ground to each other. They both, I think, knew what the other had done, but it allowed them to gain some peace. And so I thought, oh, what a wonderful story. I've had those situations in my life too, where I've decided that, the words that I use, which are sometimes harsh with people or, critical of who they are or what they're doing, isn't getting anywhere. Even though I have sometimes this deluded fact that my words could get anywhere. And so I've made similar decisions, but after thinking about what the Venerable Miles talked about, I also realized that though I may have stopped speaking the words of harsh words and just simply being quiet, there was still stuff going on in my mind. Kozin often talks about turkey butts in our life. And, I may stop using words that cause dissension between me and my turkey butts, but I still have the thoughts about their turkey butts. They're different than me. They think differently than me. They feel differently than me. They believe differently in me. How silly they are. And so I began to think about layering that out a little bit. And what came to me was that I suffer, as I think many of us do, in our thoughts and beliefs, in falling into categories of victimization and justification in our thoughts. In victimization, we look at sometimes what other people have said or done or espouse in their lives, and we feel victimized by it. How dare they think that of us? They don't know us well enough to make those judgments about us. Or justification of my own thoughts and beliefs and understandings, and I justify it in all kinds of different ways. Sometimes even running to the Buddha and the Dharma to find ways that I can justify my own thoughts. They're kind of stratospheres, if you will, that fall into a larger bucket of our own ability to just simply judge everything. We've had this over this last week, a good visual example or model of these two things, of this victimization and this justification. On both sides, all you have to do is listen to a half hour of MSNBC or Fox, and you'll hear victimizations on both sides. And you'll hear justifications on both sides about why they feel that way. And it began to clarify with me that how do I escape this? How do I not do that in my own life? How do I let my thoughts go so that my speech really does become wise speech? That my views really do become wise views? And all of the other of the Noble Eightfold Path, how do I do that? And I'm beginning to find that if I allow myself to be in a state of mindfulness, from the moment I wake up in the morning and offer gratitude for another 24 hours, to being able to go through the whole day, allowing myself to just be, and allowing myself to just know that my thoughts, my beliefs are just as delusional as anybody else's, and to listen to them and to just simply hear what they're saying. I don't have to accept it, but I have to give them that opportunity to offer their own victimizations and delusions throughout this thing we call life. And so, yes, take our Noble Eightfold Path and apply it. But as it becomes more part of the way you live, look inside, especially you'll see it in your meditation, I think, that you'll find that your questioning will go beyond just that simple statement of wise speech. It will be, what can I actually do to bring it about to its fullest ability? There's a story attributed, I think, to the Buddha, but maybe just to his Zen master, about the poison arrow. And the poison arrow was a concept of, you get shot by an arrow and the medic comes over and says, oh, that's got to come out or you're going to die. And then then this person that got shot allows their mind to simply go, well, wait, I want to know who shot it. Why did they shoot it? What kind of poison did they use on the arrow? What kind of wood is the arrow made of? Where are they from? What other people believe? And all this time that we're doing this analysis, which, the old phrase, analysis paralysis by analysis, when we should be just pulling out the arrow and saving our lives, saving ourselves from unhappiness and suffering. So don't get caught with the poison arrows. Allow your verifications and your justifications and your judgments to just simply be what they are. See them for what they are. And I think, like the Venerable Miles found in his choice of choosing not to use harsh speech, but to use silence and not argue. If we all do those things in this Noble Eightfold Path, our sufferings will reduce, our happiness will increase, and we'll begin to see ourselves more in who we really are, which is just mirror images of each other. Thank you. Let us do our chant of compassion. Scott, if you have the opportunity to put that up, that would be great. Chant of compassion. We surround all forms of life with infinite love and compassion. Especially do we send out compassionate thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to those endowed in ignorance, to all who are striving to attain truth, and to those whose feet stand close to the great change called death. We send forth all wisdom, mercy, and love. And may the infinite light of wisdom and compassion so shine within us that the errors and vanities of self may be dispelled. So shall we understand the changing nature of existence and awaken into spiritual peace. And our well-wishing prayer. May the suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and the sick find health release. and offering of merit. May the merit of this penetrate into each thing and all places, so that we and every sentient being together can realize the Buddha's way. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, mahaprajna paramita, namo tassa bhagavato rahato, sammasambuddhassa. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thay Kozen, I turn it over to you for announcements.
Thank you, my dear one. And I get to laugh at my stuff all the time. Good talk this morning. Oh, Kozen, are you thinking that? Are you feeling that? Oh, my.